Welcome again guys with the last video of the module 4 and with the same topic which we were discussing in the last video lecture, that was the foreign and domestic debt crisis with reference to Pakistan. We had discussed in the last video कि पाकिस्तान में जो debt प्रॉब्लम है वो कब अराइज हुआ, दैट वाज 1980s और दैट टर्न्स आउट टू बी डेट क्राइसिस इन 1990s. देयर वर नंबर ऑफ फैक्टर्स बिहाइंड दैट and we had discussed all those factors, and now we'll continue with the same topic and with the same discussion over the debt crisis of Pakistan in this video. So let's start. Dear students, Pakistan is a country which has the problem of debt at both fronts, domestic debt problem and foreign debt problem. Unlike many other countries जिसमें कोई एक जो एरिया है domestic या foreign debt, that used to be the problem, major problem. Pakistan में we have the problem in both fronts, domestic debt problem and the foreign debt problem. जनवरी 2000 में गवर्नमेंट ने एक डेट रिडक्शन एंड मैनेजमेंट कमेटी फॉर्म की to tackle the problem of this huge debt in the country. So this committee after analysis released a report which was said to be as debt management and reduction strategy and DRMS. So let's discuss that the report and analysis of that report. ये वो टाइम था जब पाकिस्तान का जो डेट था वो जीडीपी से भी मतलब दैट वाज 2001 to was the time when our debt was 100% of the GDP. So that turns out to be a huge problem in the country. So this report was working on the causes of this excessive debt, कि क्या reasons थी behind this excessive debt, and the solution and possibilities for alleviation of this problem or alleviating this debt problem. So first of all, important area is the reasons behind this debt. According to debt management and reduction strategy report, the important reasons behind this excessive debt was first of all persistent and large fiscal deficit. We had discussed, and this is the main topic which we are discussing, debt and deficits. तो हमारे जो deficits हैं budget में, that we used to have a persistent deficit in the budget. So deficit, persistent and large deficit are held responsible for having a huge debt in the country. So this is the first and foremost reason. Second is in the same time period, ये जो 1990s में जिसमें debt crisis convert हो गया, that was the time period when we had huge current account deficits as well. So second problem or second reason behind this excessive debt or accumulation of huge debt was the current account deficit. And in the 1990s, as we already have discussed, that was the time period when the government revenues were declined, government economic growth was declining. So this is the third important reason behind this excessive and accumulation of huge debt in the country. Exports were also performing bad in that time period, so there were declining exports as well in that time period. Devaluation of currency was there, so there was the rising cost of borrowing. और सबसे important जो reason है जो analysis में हम अगर देखें तो there was careless use of these borrowed resources. हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है उसने जो borrowed resources हैं उनकी जो allocation है या usage है, that was very much wasteful, in a sense that government used these borrowed resources in low priority economic projects, wasteful government spending. So एक important reason जो accumulation of debt and the problem to the debt servicing is the wasteful use of these borrowed resources by the government. So these were the major reasons behind. According to this report, current account balance जब हम conclusion देखें, that was the major reason behind accumulation of huge debt in this time period, and this caused a rise to both type of debt, domestic debt and the foreign debt as well. So 1990s को अगर हम देखें तो हमारा current account balance was 4.8% of the GDP. That rises to 6% of the GDP in the same time period. And as we have discussed, in the same time period there was a decline in the foreign exchange earnings. हमारी remittances भी कम थी, हमारे exports भी fall कर रहा था, तो foreign exchange earning, and beside that devaluation of the currency was there. So these three problems were behind the problem of current account balance of the country, and that was quoted as a major problem behind the problem of accumulation of debt or the debt crisis in that time period. Pakistan also received extensive amount of foreign aid in different time periods, and this foreign aid is also loan or debt for the country. So this considerable amount of loan in the form of foreign aid was to contribute to growth and the poverty reduction. That was the major theme behind the foreign aid. But actually what happened is, this foreign aid or this foreign capital is used to finance the consumption, and at the same time it has resulted out to be reduction in the saving by the same magnitude. कंजम्पशन में खर्च हुआ और सेविंग भी फॉल करी, तो रिजल्ट क्या है? देयर वाज नो कंट्रीब्यूशन टू ग्रोथ इन द कंट्री, एंड व्हेन देयर वाज नो कंट्रीब्यूशन, दैट मीन्स अल्टीमेटली दैट डेट बिकम्स द बर्डन ऑफ द कंट्री, एंड वी caught in the debt crisis. We got the problem of debt repayment, or capacity of debt repayment further declined with the Pakistan. Saqib Shirani has quoted some principal factors behind this huge debt of the country or debt crisis of the country. One is the declining national savings. के मुल्क की जो savings, जो potential savers हैं या potential savings हैं जो कि होनी चाहिए, so we are having declining savings particularly in that time period. फिर lack of fiscal discipline, and the lastly declining the revenue, tax revenue as a percentage of GDP in throughout 1990s and then 2000. उसकी major two reasons हमें उस time में अगर हम उसको analyze करें, we'll come out with the two reasons. One is political interference, and second is weak institutions. People were tax evaders and tax dodgers. We had discussed issues regarding taxation in that chapter, that topic. So उसको हमने already discuss किया है. तो ये जो revenue decline है, tax revenue as a percentage of GDP, that was the third principal factor behind accumulation of this debt. So अगर हम इस सारी discussion को conclude करें और हम updated status देखें, so Pakistan is having the debt problem, debt at the both fronts, domestic debt and foreign debt. Unlike many other countries, हमारे पास दोनों areas में problem है, और important problem ये है कि we are having debt servicing. हमारे जो expenditures हैं या budget में major share is of the interest payments which we are paying every year, or that is a huge amount as percentage of GDP. So that huge payments in the form of interest payment or debt repayment or debt servicing is eating away our resources for development and growth of the country. That has a huge cost, and the reforms in the form of SAP in the country, structural adjustment programs, that were also responsible for aggravating the problem, as we had discussed ke interest rate roses at alarming situation. So that resulted out to be the crowding out of investment in the country and market failure. तो ये problem को aggravate करने में एक बहुत बड़ा जो हाथ है, वो reason है, वो liberalization in the country financial market. So this was the conclusion. We do have this problem currently as well, कि हमारा जो foreign debt है और हमारा domestic debt है, both are having alarming situation, and the country like Pakistan has to pay huge amount on account of debt servicing every year, and this is eating away our fiscal resources which are already in constraint. Solutions or analysis suggest that there is no quick fix to the problem of debt in the country. Pakistan has to live with the macroeconomic consequences of this huge debt, and the IMF and World Bank are not to be blamed for all this debt crisis. This is the mismanagement at the part of our government as well, which were using these borrowed resources wastefully in consumption and in other non-priority economic projects. So this is all about the problem of debt crisis in the country. We had discussed thoroughly the problem of debt in the country in the form of domestic debt and the foreign debt, and the reasons and consequences of that foreign debt, and how this debt crisis arises in the country. By this, the topic of domestic and foreign debt crisis in Pakistan is ended. We are all advised to go through your recommended book for better understanding and to comprehend this topic in a better way. Read thoroughly from there and use your video lecture as well, and wish you very good luck for your studies, and see you in the next video with the next module with the next topic. Take care.